Welcome to Bold by Design, where we reimagine power, purpose, and what's possible. Together, we'll explore how bold, values-driven action can transform our systems and create a place where everyone has a place to call home. In this session, we'll delve into how identity, power, and culture shape our systems. We'll recognize how these elements influence individual and collective actions, examine forces that uphold or disrupt harmful norms, and apply the Boldness Blueprint to daily work. Have you ever wondered why race, gender roles, citizenship, and money exist? Well, they are social constructs. Social constructs like race, gender roles, citizenship, and money are not natural truths. They are inherited systems that shape our identities and influence power dynamics. Recognizing these constructs gives us the courage to question and change them. Why is boldness crucial now? Silence protects systems, not people, so we have to be willing to speak the truth to power, which requires boldness. If we live in our comfort zone, we are not bold. Boldness begins in the courage zone, where we grow, act with integrity, and shift systems. Pause the video to answer the following questions. Do you tend to operate out of comfort or courage? What might one bold step look like for you this week? Jot your answers down and then restart the video. Now that you've spent some time thinking about a bold step you can take, I'll share a tool that can support you. The Boldness Blueprint. It's a model for cultivating cultures where individuals speak truth to power. It supports bold, values-aligned action rooted in clarity, integrity, and justice. Pause the video to review the slide to see how each principle empowers leaders and teams. Restart the video when you're ready. Where do you stand with each principle? From moral courage to collective integrity, assess your strengths and areas for improvement. Pause the video and take a moment to rate where you stand on each principle. Jot down the principles you can work on. Restart the video when you're ready. Now that you've learned about the Boldness Blueprint, let's explore the 5 concepts that offer a lens for shaping systems: access, diversity, inclusion, equity, and justice. Access is about getting a seat at the table. Diversity is about who's at that table and what uniqueness they bring. Inclusion happens when we make room for diversity at the table in a way that helps them feel like they belong. Equity ensures that each person has what they need to participate. Justice harkens back to what keeps people from the table in the first place. And how do we remove those obstacles? Let's deep dive into each of the 5 concepts, starting with diversity. Diversity is multidimensional, encompassing personality, traits, experiences, and cultural norms. Recognizing and valuing these dimensions is crucial for designing teams and systems that honor differences and leverage strengths. Culture is an external dimension of diversity and an undercurrent of every action. Cultural diversity influences how we communicate, collaborate, and make meaning. By respecting and adapting to these differences, we create environments that celebrate diversity and foster inclusion. How we perceive differences shapes culture and systems. Whether it's a melting pot, tossed salad, or mosaic, each metaphor reflects unique dynamics. What would it take for your team to move closer to a mosaic? Intersectionality helps us understand how overlapping identities create unique experiences of discrimination and privilege. Individuals may face multiple overlapping barriers, which are not experienced separately but simultaneously. For example, someone who is a woman, part of the LGBTQ+ community, and a member of a racially marginalized group may experience compounding forms of discrimination that are distinct from those experienced by someone with just one of those identities. We can design more equitable policies, systems, and support when we account for the whole person. Let's explore your intersectionality. This reflection tool encourages understanding without judgment, fostering a deeper connection to your own experiences and those of others. Pause the video to complete the chart, then take a moment to reflect. Restart the video when you're ready. Sometimes, learning these concepts causes us to do a very human thing: compare our struggles. The Oppression Olympics is a concept that highlights the danger of comparing struggles. Instead, focus on solidarity, acknowledging multiple truths, and listening to understand. It's also important to note that data and observations may lead us to focus on one or more aspects of diversity to close a gap. This does not minimize anyone else's struggle. It's a strategic and humane decision. In most cases, when we solve a problem in a way that works for the most vulnerable, that solution is applicable to a majority of people. Think about how people experience the crisis response system for homelessness and housing instability. We'd like to think everyone experiences it the same. However, that's not true. The Wheel of Power reveals how identity shapes proximity to power and experience in systems. As we move from the center, influence decreases. As you explore this visual, reflect on how housing, wealth, mental health, ability, neurodiversity, language, and citizenship show up in our work. Pause the video to reflect on the questions and restart the video when you're ready. Then we'll talk about equity. People often confuse equality with equity. Let's pretend we're in a bike race. The desire for equality would result in our donors giving us the same bike. Equity is about providing what people need to thrive, not just equal treatment. It demands adaptive solutions, removing barriers, and designing policies for those furthest from opportunity. That means our donors will provide bikes according to our needs. This is how we must design our system for equity. What if equity guided the crisis response system? Take a moment to complete the questions on the screen and restart the video when you're ready. Then we'll talk about inclusion. Inclusion is more than being at the table and bringing your unique value. It's about belonging and being oneself. Balancing uniqueness and sameness creates environments where bold action thrives. How does our organization align with this model? How about the system? How does the Housing First philosophy promote inclusion in our system? Pause the video and reflect on these questions. Restart the video when you're ready, and we'll talk about justice. Justice is about addressing root causes and redistributing power. It demands action beyond values on paper, centering those most impacted. Bold action changes how the table works, not just adding voices to it. In Franklin County, the average rent is a staggering $1,529 per month, making it nearly impossible for those earning under 30% of the area median income to afford housing without assistance. This isn't just a housing issue, it's a justice issue. Take a moment to answer the questions on the screen. Pause the video to give yourself some time and restart it when you're ready. Justice is woven into our daily choices. The Boldness Blueprint encourages us to speak up, take responsibility, and live our values, even when it's challenging. Reflect on where justice appears in your daily work, moments when you stayed silent, and how you can move from awareness to action. One suggestion is to learn about the public and elected officials in your locality who can influence legislation and public policy. Get to know those who hold political seats like state representatives, county commissioners, city council, and the mayor's office. As we rethink power and purpose, these key takeaways highlight the importance of leading with clarity, courage, and collective responsibility. Recognizing our power and position, embracing inclusion, practicing the Boldness Blueprint daily, and fostering solidarity over comparison are essential steps toward collective liberation. Thank you for taking the time to learn about being bold by design. Our journey is informed by a wealth of knowledge from various sources, including works on leadership, inclusion, intersectionality, and oppression. These resources provide a foundation for understanding and advancing justice in our communities. I encourage you to check out these resources. Our time together has come to an end. Go forth and change the world.